ॐ कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय हरये परमात्मने प्रणतक्लेशनाशाय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः।
Sanaji, the sound is very bad. Very bad. It has lots of things in it. It's not clear at all. Statics and everything.
How does it sound now?
Very good. Very good. Now it's perfect. Thank you.
Starting again. Last Monday, we were talking about the word tapa, the austerity. Sometimes some of us referred it as a spiritual or the religious practice. There is some kind of observation. That is, on certain days, I will not eat certain things, or on certain days, I will behave differently, meaning certain days I will not talk, or certain days I will have a couple of rosaries, a couple of month names. Different things we are resolved to, some resolution. And during those resolutions, most of us, we think we are doing godly things. We are doing something for God, or we are doing some religious or the spiritual matter. Truly ask ourselves, what do we really mean by religious or the spiritual matter? Sometimes we try to remain absent from eating certain things. I will eat only once on Saturday. And then we force ourselves. We may be so excited and craving for the food. And not only this, then we try to fool ourselves that after 12 o'clock Saturday night, Sunday begins. So my fast is over and I can jump on the kitchen refrigerator and eat like anything. This I have heard from various people. And a couple of years back, when some of the friends happened to be visiting, and he says, Sonaji, I understand you folks sleep early, but you know, Saturday is my fast day. Is it okay I don't want you to be awake, but I got to eat after 12 o'clock. So, whereby the point I'm making is, to minor degree or major degree, all of us go through this. Understand that. Sometimes on the 1st of January, we make a resolution saying that I'm not going to miss a single day without Surya Namaskar. Friday night happens to be Sujata's birthday, so there was a party. And the party lasted long, and there was a lot of work in the kitchen and elsewhere. So by the time she went to the sleep, was around 1:32. And here the point I'm making is how our mind will be playing the game with us. And the next day is Sunday morning, Sonaji was to come for lunch. So she has to prepare a lot of food. So she says, it's okay, I'm going to do the Surya Namaskar in the afternoon or in the evening. Evening, she realizes that certain vital item like milk and rice and other stuff are missing. So we got to have, because my family cannot starve. And this way the evening also goes. And then he says, family duty comes first. Duty toward guests comes first. So once in a while, if we didn't do it, it's okay. So the so-called resolution, so-called tapa, so-called austerity, how slowly drips off. And the mind will start convincing us different ways. But first, let us once again make an effort to understand the word tapa. As we have learned earlier, that spirituality is nothing but having mastery over your mind. And to a degree, I will say, even forget the word God. Whichever form one may be thinking of or belonging to certain faith. And as we progress, for sure, we have to learn, we have to understand what truly is happening. Are we having mastery over our mind? Even forget the mastery, do we get chance to observe our mind? That's the first thing. And going back to our good old practice, Saturday I will not eat one, or Monday evening, I'm only on fruits, Ekadashi. Okay? Mahim Ekadashi is the 11th lunar day. There's some certain observation. So on this day, you eat fruits only. Eating fruits is nothing. But during that time, if you study that regularly, Vijay would like to have dosas and sambar. But on that day when he eats fruits only, your backside of your mind would say, I'm eating every Monday fruits, but today I got to have dosas. So that pull of your mind is pulling you, and that pull that needs to be studied. Whether you eat dosa or not, whether you don't eat fruits or not, it's a different story. But what we really need to do is to study the pull of our mind. And what is that pull? Understand this. It is your tongue taste of the dosas. Now, dosas is the object of the sense of tongue. Understand that was very critical to be thought of. Same way, our eyes may like to do certain things. Eyes may like to look at certain beautiful dresses, beautiful jewelries, beautiful makeup, certain arrangement in the house. And the moment that arrangement is changed, our mind gets affected. So at that time, I really don't mind whether your mind gets affected or not. But at that time, are you observing the memory in your mind of certain arrangement in the house is pulling your eyes in that direction, that any other arrangement in the house is not acceptable. And as a result, your mind feels agitated. So once a week or once a month, whenever you do the arrangement in the house to the taste you want, that's fine. But what you really need to do, and you will say, oh, how nice I feel. And you will invite 10 people. See, you like this arrangement? That's the pull. And that pull need to be studied. First you study, observe, and then immediately tell yourself, I'm using a very fancy word called pull. But if I use the little harsher word, your mind is making you slave of that attraction, that set memory, that this arrangement is good and that arrangement is not good. Same thing when we were talking about Ekadashi, that the fruit only. Fruit is also a prasad offered by the divinity. And so is sambar and dosa. But understanding that it is that memory which might have been established ever since you were born in South Indian family. And your mother might have been cooking every day. Your tongue has been trained that way. And at that time too, your mother might be observing certain fasting and certain, what do you call the arrangement. And she may be thinking that she's doing tapa. That's not what the tapa, austerity, that Bhagavad Gita is talking about. Last week, it might appear that I might have gone a little fast. I'm just revising it today briefly so that whether you observe, whether you have mastery over your mind or not, but I kind of apologize, I forgot. No, never mind. Okay, no, recording is on. So, first thing is the observation. And what is observation? Unless you know the question, you will not be seeking for the answer. Unless you know a problem, you will not be seeking for solution. So, a kind of a homework, if I may say, for all of us, that whether you do austerity on a particular day or not, but either tonight or tomorrow, whatever you eat, try to study the pull. And that pull is nothing but a slavery. Mind is making you the slave. You are not the master. So first observe that, is this what you would like to be free from? And that being free from is the freedom. Being free from and obtaining the freedom is self-realization. It is not the Upanishad you study and memorize. It's not entire Bhagavad Gita you memorize. It's not some holy places that you go and dive deep into the river Ganges. They have their importance, I'm not denying it. But whosoever, 5, 6 people, little family, we are studying, this is very important. And most of our family have such a beautiful habit of offering the food to the divine. And we take Prasad, the blessed food, before we eat. That's a good thing. That is a symbolic presentation that whatever we put in the mouth, we have all the mouths, understand, eyes are mouth, ears are mouth, skin is mouth. So whatever that you put in, they are nothing but the gifts of God, Prasad. With that intention, you eat. Lot of thing happens. You come out of the doership. You also come out of like and dislike. And once you come out of like and dislike, truly speaking, what happens? You are eating just to sustain the body. And on that day, it can be a fruit, it can be dosa, or it can be a sandwich. Each one is a blessed food. And as a result, someday when you do not have idli, dosa, or uttapam, I'm picking on Vijay and Sujata today, so they feel comfortable. Someday I may use the word tidy. Anyhow, so would you all kindly do this tomorrow and for the entire week study what pull that we are learning today, what slavery we are learning today, and what freedom we are talking about. We talk about the word mukti. We talk about the word Vaikuntha. We talk about the word freedom. What is that freedom? Is it the freedom that your mother-in-law is imposing on you? No, it is our mind. And in that light, long time back, I might have narrated a sloka, not a sloka, a two-liner from Kabir. And those of you remember this is very good stanza. And it talks about चाह गई चिंता गई मनवा अब तो बेपरवाह अब तो मुझे कछु न चाहिए मैं तो सबका शहंशाह. चाह, attraction, chinta, associated worries. And why they call associated worries? If you have pull for the bondage from certain food, then that is chahana, that is attraction. And chinta means worries until Sujata may make it. And if Vijay is hungry, he may be thinking, when is she going to finish this? I'm so hungry. Associated worries. His mind may not be focusing on certain deals to be closed. Chah gayi, chinta gayi, those are gone. All I care for is a blessed food, and God knows what I want when and what is a necessity. He will provide. Why do I have to worry? Sujata just happened to be an instrument. She will cook. She may be tired or she has other things to do. So instead of 8 o'clock, she will cook at 9 o'clock. But if you have in your mind, whatever she will cook will be a blessed food, and whatever time it will be cooked, this is going to be Prasad. So it's not Sujata who is serving you. It's God is serving you through her. If that is it, then do you think your mind will be engaged into what she will cook? When will I have food? I am so hungry. Understanding this, so that's what he says. Ab to manua beparwa. Beparwa means free. Now my mind is free. Ab to mujhe kachu no chahiye. Ab to means now. Mujhe means to me. Kachu means nothing else. Chahiye means want. Now I want nothing. As soon as you say I want nothing, that means what? That means your trust in God is increasing. You're not looking at Sujata. You're not looking at the domestic situation. You're looking at the divine instructions, divine love. He will provide as and when whatever I need not want, mind you. And then he said, Main to, I am, sabka shahenshah. I am Shahenshah means the king. I am the master. I am the master of every being and everything. Sabka. So truly understanding the word of Shahenshah. Now going to briskly going over once when, and that those we studied, once when desire is not fulfilled, our judgment will be affected. Those are in the sloka we study. And once the judgment is affected, our memory will be affected. Our intellect will be affected. Once the intellect is affected, which is guiding the judgment, and that is also guiding the memory. And once the intellect is affected, you are overall is affected. So in that case, what do? You are completely ruined. Anger follows. That part I didn't say it. Anger follows because desire is not fulfilled. And then you go and complain to 10 people that I've been working 10, 12 hours and my poor wife, she is home and she can't even cook food for 2 days. And if Chandrasekhar happens to agree with you, because he may have a similar situation, no, Sujata should cook. So Vijay's mind is supported again. And that time you say, then Chandrasekhar may say, no wonder you get angry. Okay? So please stay away from this kind of friendship. The only thing over and over you have to look is study of mind, not with mind. I think all of you understand this part. Then let me take you to the next sloka. How Bhagwan Shri Krishna is guiding us. That's so beautiful. Look, he's talking about the word Prasad. Very good. Let us hear that.
रागद्वेषवियुक्तैस्तु विषयानिन्द्रियैश्चरन् आत्मवश्यैर्विधेयात्मा प्रसादमधिगच्छति.
Okay. But one who controls the mind, one who masters the mind, and is free from the attachment and aversion. Aversion is nothing but the opposite and still the mirror image of attachment. Whether you fall in love with or you are angry for certain things, both are equally bad. So, and is free from attachment or aversion. You may like, for example, ice cream, but you may not like the bitter melon. So you have aversion to bitter melon and you have attachment to ice cream. But this is again, the mind is deciding at that time what needs to be done, even while using the object of the senses. Even while, well, object, here, what are the two objects which we just now talked about? Ice cream or bitter melon? Of the senses, so which sense here we are talking about? Tongue, taste. Attains the grace of the God. Grace of the God means that is when you can say, you are so blessed that you have become master of your mind. Please understand this following sloka, and those of you who happen to have Bhagavad Gita, I will say, you try to study those sloka and see whosoever is the translator or the guide, who is the author of the Bhagavad Gita. This may be just some words coming out of me. And I am not exactly going by the translation of whosoever has done this. But at this point in time, with the examples I'm trying to explain to you, and we all are learning. So the grace of the God, and also would we all not say that the grace of the God is nothing but mastery over your mind. Let me come out of this, and for a second, I want whosoever are present today, 6 of us, I want you to tell me whether you agree or disagree. Is grace of the God equivalent to the mastery over your mind? That itself is the grace. All right, let me begin. And each one of you, please participate, be ready with the answer. I want to hear your feedback. Let's begin. Hold on, let's begin with Mahi.
Hari Om, I understand what you're saying, and I agree with that. But for me, I think that when you say the pull from your mind, or the slavery of being enslaved to your mind, that's like you say you have to control your breathing. You have to control. What I'm saying is not the same, but it's very, very, very difficult. And I can only maybe do very short time if I'm aware of my thoughts, because the thoughts and the mind is constantly, automatically, you cannot be present that much to watch the mind, to control it, and to not be pulled by it. To me, mastery of that you're talking about is, I'm being honest, almost impossible. If anything, I'm talking about myself, if anything, it's going to be very, very small. And before I can even say I did master it, it goes away.
Okay, very good. Alcina, I want your feedback, dear, on whatever Maheen said or anything else. Alcina, would you turn your mic on?
Yeah, sorry. I agree with what you said, but I also agree with Maheen that it's very, very difficult to control your mind. If you can do it, that's great, but it's very, very difficult. Let's say that way.
Okay, Chris, your feedback.
Yeah, I think what Maheen says is spot on. It is almost impossible to quiet the mind. And even if you can do it for a short time during meditation, the thoughts just keep coming and coming and coming. And it's not like you can control the mind. I don't think that if you start trying to control the mind, you just feed into that loop and you more thoughts. It's like the only times it's been successful for me is when I'm doing things like Yoga Nidra at times. And otherwise, I know that in bed in the morning, the thoughts start racing. And even if I do, chants or whatever it is, Rim Klim, Aim Rim Klim, that doesn't seem to help. It just continues. And the more I try, it's like the harder it is.
Very good. Raksha.
Namaste, Swamiji Uncle. I agree with what you said and what Maheen and Chris has mentioned as well, and Alcina. I think, I definitely do struggle with that, having these thoughts racing through your head at any given point and trying to curb them. And I think, yes, one part is like it takes a lot of practice. Like you see these Swamijis who say that they are able to do that because they've devoted their life to obtaining that. And in that sense, I understand that there's that aspect of the grace of God. They've devoted their life to disconnecting their mind from their conscious and their intellect. And at that point, that's where the grace of God comes in, and you're surrendering yourself to this power. But it takes practice, and the amount of practice it'll take me is different than the amount of practice it would take for my father or my mother or you or anyone else here. And so it depends on each other and our dedication to that.
Okay. Sujata.
Namaste, everybody. Namaste, Swamiji, sir. I do agree with everything that everyone has said, and I think what Raksha just said is really beautiful too. But my view is I have tried whenever possible to pull out or be a witness to turmoil in my mind. And that's only because I have, it's been years I've tried doing this. It helps definitely, especially when I've had like some root canal and I say, I am not this pain. And I tell myself that I'm going to be a witness to the pain. And for a few moments, the pain does go away. You don't feel it because I'm not the pain. However, I feel grace is that which everything is designed to just happen because there's an order of this universe, and accepting that is grace and letting it be is my view on grace. Thank you.
And this is a beautiful point, Sujata, you brought it. And would you remind me next time to talk exclusively on that topic? Very beautiful, very beautiful. Vijay.
Namaste, sir. Well, as human being, our mind is always floating. So that means the thoughts are coming and going. It's similar to the way we are breathing. It has to go through that. I feel it is, once we understand that thoughts are coming and accepting it, we don't have to struggle with that. Now we accept it and thoughts will come and go, but we are conscious about it. So that way we are becoming, or we are having a mastery over our mind. With that position, we can do whatever we want. Nothing will force us to do what outside has to happen, but it's all in ourselves. We know this is what it has to happen.
Very lovely point. And those points we had discussed a long time back, not to have reaction.
Yes.
Really speaking, reactions are the pull and the push.
Yes.
This is the desire and aversion.
Yes.
Desire and aversion are reactions.
Yes.
That is what Sujata also mentioned. Now, when Sujata mentioned this point, I'm glad that she gave the concrete example of the root canal. Okay. Now, instead of that, she said that I'm not I'm not the pain, I am not the teeth, I'm not the root canal. I am just a witness, observer. During that time, she did not feel pain. But she could have very well asked the doctor to give her another injection of the Narcan or some painkiller. So what really speaking happens is, she can even say, God help me not to feel the pain. But was it God, or she asked the mind not to interfere? I am the master, you are not. And first of all, for that, she observed the pain. She realized that pain is the problem, but she did not seek the solution of the numbing of the teeth, but she is asking her mind to be the witness. And as soon as, and she admitted it is difficult, so did Raksha. But it being difficult doesn't mean impossible. And Raksha also gave a very beautiful example that those Swamis, Swami literally means master, okay? Swami are dedicating their entire life. They may be dedicating entire life, but don't we think that we can even dedicate 5 minutes? Come on. And that's what Chris also talked about, that whenever I do Yoga Nidra, I feel so good. I feel the mastery. I don't feel any distraction, no aversion, no attraction. But at the same time, he can say that I cannot do Yoga Nidra 24 hours. Yes, I understand that, because we are living life and we have to do it. But at least keep reminding yourself that this is the reaction. Let me be the witness. So keep on doing this. And once you keep on reminding, but that reminder can come only when you first study the problem. If you do not know that to be the problem, the thought will come all the time. It's gonna bother me. It's so impossible to do that. Yes, in that case, you are contented with the problem, thinking that it will never go away. But what is religion? Understand now. Religion is that science which ideally wants to make you free from the misery and the pain. Ideally. But what it does, I will not comment on it. Okay? So, but it is up to all of us. And when you study the scriptures like Bhagavad Gita, oh my God. And at that time, the view of master, the grand master I call to be God, okay, that comes to us. And at this time, understand the meaning of Soham. What does it tell you? That as soon as Raksha mentioned about Swamis are spending their whole life say a Swami spent the whole life, and say he completely got rid of aversion and the attraction, meaning there is no misery, there is no slavery. At that time, his mind is free. And would you not call that to be the state of self-realization? Would you not call that to be that your state is so pure that you can even say it's just the reflection of God? And that is the aim of the life. We all are born to evolve to that state. And that doesn't mean you may even reach 0.001% success, but still it is 0.001% of what? Success, and not the slavery. So we all have to study what is slavery. First realize it, and if you think, and the problem is not outside of you. Problem is all here. It's the mind that does it. Okay, now let Chandrasekhar talk about.
Yom Bhai, as a human being, we are so graced to have a most powerful sense of mind. It's so potentially, as we talk about in Bhagavad Gita, potentially divine, but somehow in our day-to-day practices, we let the mind come down to 10 senses and objective awareness, and then taste and like and dislike, as this sloka just you showed earlier. That even though you have it, we can't run away putting loincloths and run away from society. We have to live in the society, go through these experiences, and use this experience of liking and disliking. Did I like this? Why? Did I dislike this? Why? Analyze this. How is your response and recovery? You fail to, you respond, no problem. Yeah, it's okay. Naturally, somebody makes you mad, you respond. But can you recover? Can you come home to yourself? And you never come home, and then you're wandering. And then you say, oh, this is part of life. And you make a brand around you that this is what it is. So you're in America, or be in France, be fixed French. So that norm keeps on establishing. And you keep those norm keeps you away from your true self. And it is not difficult. Unfortunately, in today's reality, people are establishing too difficult. I cannot get there. I cannot get up early. I cannot do this. So we are succumbed to our little cocoon, and we fail to open the cocoon and see the real world. It says journey, yoga abhyas is sadhana. You have all these experiences. Can you quickly recover? Can you be home? When you put yourself on a pillow at night time, can you totally surrender yourself and let all the memory go away? So when you wake up in the morning, you're blessed again with that memory. I am that. So this is the journey. And something does happen, it does happen. It falls down here, husband, wife, brother, children, everywhere. Interaction, always there's pluses and minuses. So we have to use mind sadhana. Satya, keep on using those experiences and come on, filter it. What is to be me? What is to be done? Am I on the path? Did I fall down from the path? And you are the only judge. Nobody else can help. And use mind should be used. As Krishna says, Indriyanam manahasmi. I am the, in all senses, I am the mind. So we have to give our reign of our life, reign of our mind to Sri Krishna. And he guiding us nicely and thoroughly in all those chapters, preparing the warriors to fight for the truth. So we have to fight the war for the truth. What is it? Why am I here? We came here in this world with some package of some karmas of the past life, and we have to go with those karma with this life. We are here to refine our journey. Why am I not feeling myself? You remember the one beautiful thing, many people want to have picture, rupa, your physical experience and all kind of thing you put on to make very beautiful. But swarupa is your true identity. Tada drashtu swarupe avasthanam. Swarup is your natural aura comes out of you. So I'm just keep looking at it. Swarupa, where am I failing? Am I simply decorating myself? I understand Patanjali said, Tada drashtu swarupe avastha. So it's a journey. So nobody should blame themselves and keep on marching, keep on marching. Every step, watch out. Is in right direction or wrong direction? You decide.
I am so happy that those of you mentioned it is very, very difficult. Yes, first thing you recognize that it is very, very difficult. Good point. Secondly, you start recognizing what really a problem is.
Yeah.
And is there a solution? Solution may be miles away. It doesn't matter, but is there a solution? And each one of us have witnessed that yes, there is a solution, like Krish mentioned, that at the time of Yog Nidra, I don't have neither the desire or the aversion, no anger, nothing. But that is his experience, and he is the witness. So what did he got? The hint that this is doable. So doability, understand and proceed further.
Can
Attempts,
I make a comment, Sanaji?
right?
But to me, although what I said, it's very true about myself, but to me also, I have to mention this, that my mind helps me a lot with being present. That's the best. A lot of my closeness or my feeling myself as I am, it happens when I use my mind, when in the middle of, I'm so sorry, in the middle of crazy things, to bring myself back to that moment and stay there and keep some kind of, it's like some kind of meditation that I have to constantly work on it to be in that moment as long as possible, because it's very, very peaceful and joyous. So reminding yourself that my mind is not in control of me. I am in control of my mind to stay present, to just be here, to do what is, that it, to me is some kind of meditation, and it gives me a lot of joy.
Mahin, you gave the summary of this whole 1 hour, and it is so good. Okay, and I know you did not really mean that it is impossible. You are doing it. And,
Almost.
and also mentioned so that all of us can see the similarity. She said that I would like to be present moment. What truly you mean by present moment? You are not looking at the past. When you are not looking at the past means you are not looking at the memory, intellect, and judgment. And you are also not looking at any projection. So what you really are, and this thing can be possible because she has observed the mind. Mind is running, pulling her in different directions. That's all the sloka is talking about. And now I also would not like to leave Nainaven alone. Nainaven, please tell us about what we have been talking about. Your input.
My input for what? About the mind?
Yeah, about the mind. And all this discussion came from the having the mastery over the mind is the grace of God, or it is God, you can even say.
I certainly agree with Mahim also that if you use your mind and I think you argue it out and see and make a right decision and use your mind in a right decision, then mind can be your friend, right? But if you don't listen to, if you don't use your vivek buddhi, or if you don't use your intelligence and just do whatever mind is saying to do or not paying attention, then you are slave of your mind too.
Beautiful. You put it also in a different manner. So the whole purpose, Naina Ben, what you're talking about, that all of us would like to be the master of our mind, and nobody would like to have the slavery of the mind. That
Yes.
all you agree. Whether it is possible, whether it is impossible, whether it's doable or not, it's up to the individual. And sometimes we choose that we cannot do it. And I give you one humorous example. And that example also I might have repeated a couple of times. When previously we used to have first Saturday of the month, 6 o'clock meditation in the morning. So many people say, Swamiji, can you not make it later? 6 o'clock is too early. Can you not make it 6 o'clock p.m.? At that time, I used to tell them, I said, no, 6 o'clock even may be late, but I can even make it at 4 o'clock, and I can assure you that you will be the first person to come for that class. And he says, impossible. I said, no, trust me, I can make it possible. As soon as I announce that whosoever comes first is gonna get $1,000. So impossibility become possibility. Why? Because to you, $1,000 means a lot more than that of meditation. That's all. That itself is talking about what is aversion, what is attraction, what is memory. And our memory has been so much established, no matter what Swamiji is talking about, but money is money. Anyhow, I wanted to take one or two other slokas, but the time is up. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay. So next time, Sujata has a homework to remind me. Sujata, can you text me the question that I wanted you to remind me? Okay, please do that. Okay.
Yes, I will.
I know you will. Any other point? This is, by the way, this is sadhana, understand? All right. No matter what you do, and we also learn the word Prasad, whatever that comes out and how to accept it. Okay.
I have a question about, Swamiji. As you were talking about the day that you only take fruits, that you only take fruits, not, I mean, it's traditional, I'm asking, is that traditional?
Some people do, yes, and so many Indians do.
And what is the reason behind that? Is to cleanse your body, or is it religious, or?
And that is exactly is my point. Most of the people think it to be religious, okay? And I earlier also mentioned what is ideally the religion is. To show you the methodology with which you derive the mastery over your mind. That's it. No matter which faith, which brand of religion you talk about it. And then they establish certain days. So during those days, you behave differently.
Yeah.
And here, instead of having all the fruit, all the foods, you just refrain yourself from all other tastes and be content with that. And, you know, my Indian fellow friends will agree that we have made such a mockery of that. And then there are people, they say, who said it's religious? It's the festival we enjoy. So they may have 10 kinds of fruit varieties. Then they will say, oh, you know, I cannot remain hungry, so I will introduce some milk product. Okay, milk, yogurt, fine. No, but plain milk is no good. I have to put some sugar in it. I have to put some nice fragrance in it. I have to put falude in it. Okay.
Falude, I know what you're talking about. It's forcing.
You were staring at me, that's why I used that word. Okay. And then people will say, ice cream is also made up of milk anyway. You know. So various ways you twist and turn your mind. But really speaking, let people do what they want to do. Do what you want to do. And so whereas you're choosing it, that you want to be the master, so even if you can be master for 5 seconds, 5 seconds is a good beginning. And talking about the good beginning, I had heard a short story that I will share with you, dear friends, that it just happened to be complete darkness in a town, all the electricity was gone. And that happened to be the new moon day. So there was complete darkness. And people were refusing to go out, and so dark you can't see anything. So the people were saying, I cannot go out, I cannot do this. At that time, a tiny little earthen lamp with a little wick and little oil in it. And he says, I will go. People say, are you crazy? You can't even see your step. How are you going to? You can't see because it's a tiny little lamp. Then the lamp said, if I could see my just 1 foot, I am ahead in the game. Then for the next step, I will be still seeing my next step, then the next step, and then the next step. So the point is, do not be pessimistic. And this is the lamp example. And Lord Buddha has said, Tavo Dipo Bhava, be your own lamp. Realize that there is darkness in front of you and have the light of the knowledge and start walking on and start removing the darkness.
Inside and out.
Soham is a sadhana. We have to realize this. Just like a penny is a foundation of billion and million and trillion, whatever it is. Same thing. You are the divine. We are unproving ourselves. We are divine to begin with. And we downgraded ourselves and then looking for answers somewhere else. We are the culprit. Our downfall. And we are the master to go up again. Hey, where is mind lost? Don't search the wrong place, search within.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
I am so appreciative of all of your time and making this discussion such a pleasant and guiding. So,
Hari Om.
meet next.
You.
Subhratri Bhai.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Thank you.